Midwifery meeting is convening at 8:06 a.m. on January 21st, 2021 at the Health Licensing Office in Salem, Oregon, by telephone conference call. I will now call roll. Meredith Klein, I'm here. Wendy Smith.
Here.
Beth Iva is coming at 9. Kelsey Fisher.
Here.
Meredith Mance.
Here.
Lynette Pettibone.
Here.
And Christine Morales.
Here.
Members, when you wish to speak, please state your last name for the record. For the record, public members calling into the public phone line are asked to email April Fleming at april.fleming@dhsoa.state.org.us. Do I need to do all that? And provide your first and last name. Public and interested parties' feedback may be heard during the public interested parties' feedback period if indicated on the agenda. Everyone is asked to use appropriate language, manners, and protocols when conducting board business. This meeting is called to order.
This is Kelsey Fisher, and I move to approve the agenda.
This is Wendy, and I second it.
Okay, motion has been made, so shall we vote on that? Sorry, it's been a little while.
Yes. Now we vote.
Yes, you do.
And just call roll, Meredith, please.
Okay, Meredith Klein, aye. Wendy Smith.
Aye.
Kelsey Fisher.
Aye.
Meredith Mance. Aye. Lynette Pettibone.
Aye.
And Christine Morales.
Aye.
Is that you, sister?
Morning.
Next thing.
Hi all. So I am just going to go. So the first thing, we have 2 items on the agenda regarding continuing education and one regarding specifically registered drugs and devices. So you were given the schedule in your packet. It's pretty brief. Basically, you would approve the schedule and language today. It's boilerplate language that we've used for all the boards based on House Bill 2011 from 2019. Basically saying that you have to have a certain number of hours under continuing education that's approved by the board or OHA. So we added all the boards have been adding 1 CE. There is one question, do you want to, because your guys' CEs are a little bit weird as far as timing, do you want the 1 hour to go into the current 35 or have an additional 1 and make it 36? And then just of note that this would not be online training that you would be able to obtain. Heather, you gave me some comments yesterday, so if I've missed something based on those comments, let me know. So basically, we would file by February 1st. It would go on the Oregon Bulletin. We would have public comment from the 1st to February 28th. You guys would meet March 11th and approve them permanent, and they go into effect April 15th. Any questions about that?
This is Kelsey. So seeming to clarify, this is specifically for the cultural competency part of the rule.
Correct.
And you said that we could not obtain this. It's online. It would have to be an in-person class.
That's the way we've been going, but I think you could choose to not to do it online if you wanted.
This is Heather, that's correct. I think under the House bill, they don't say method as to how to obtain it. It just has to meet the criteria that the health authority has indicated.
Great.
Good question.
Does anybody have an opinion about adding it to as an additional hour to make 36 or to kind of absorb it within the 35?
This is Kelsey, and I prefer that we absorb it into the 35, especially since it's just a single hour, just to not make our CEUs any more complicated. And I do also have a preference that we allow for this to be an online class. I think there's a lot of really great ones, especially since we're still in a pandemic.
The only other issue is it would be an annual CE. That's the way it's written now, and you guys do biannual continuing education. I don't know if that's something you wanted to talk about. All of our other boards are always annual CEs. Yours are like the only one that does every 2 years. So I don't know if that's something that you want to talk about as well.
So Sammy, are you saying that we have to require it annually, so it would end up being 2 hours?
No, I'm saying the way it's written, the way we wrote it for the other boilerplate boards is 1 hour annually, but you guys might want to consider something biannually since that's what your CEs are. You're the only board like that, but of my boards. Does that make sense?
But you would just, but this is Wendy, you would have to say 2 hours biannually, is that
Correct.
Is that how it would have to be written?
Yeah, I think yes.
So I think that there's a few options here. I'm sorry, Sylvia, you might be jumping in.
I can see your guys' faces.
So the House bill says that it's one every other renewal period. Some boards have set it up as a 1 year, and some boards have set it up for every other year or every other renewal period, which would be every other year. So I think you have some options as to how you go about setting it up. And I think, and I may be wrong on this, but I think boards have gone both ways for HLO. Is that correct?
I don't know about Ann's boards, but mine haven't.
I think Sylvia is some information.
This is Sylvie. No, everybody has done all the boards that have already adopted rules have done the every other year because that's exactly what it says in the bill. So it's to align with the bill. So every other time you renew, your continuing education must include 1 hour of cultural competency.
That would fit perfectly.
Well, so then for us, that would technically mean once every 4 years, or do we
Every
just
2
write
still.
it in that we're
No,
once every
our renewal period is 1 year. It's just that we have to, our CEUs are only due every other time.
Oh, right.
Yes, that is correct. Any other questions about that? If not, some of you guys can do a vote and a roll call, and I will get these filed with Secretary of State at the first.
We're making some changes, correct? At Kelsey's suggestion?
Yes, and I will add in the online piece that you guys could do online courses for CEs for the continuing education. Correct.
Great.
Okay, so this is Kelsey, and I move that we amend our rules to include the cultural competency requirement of 1 year of 1 hour every other renewal period to be in line with when all the other CUs are due, and that hour is included in this required 35 hours, and not in addition to it.
This is Meredith Manson, I second.
So let's call roll. Meredith Fine, aye. Wendy Smith.
Aye?
Kelsey Fisher.
Aye.
Did you not hear that?
Meredith
sorry.
Meredith Mann.
Aye.
Lynette Pettibone.
Aye.
Christine Morales.
Aye.
All right. That was an easy one to pass.
So this is Sylvie. You also need to make a motion to adopt the rule schedule so that Sammy can do it. If you want to make any changes to it, let her know.
This is Kelsey, and I move to adopt the rules schedule.
This is Wendy, I'll second it.
Can someone explain what that means to me before we vote?
The schedule?
Yeah.
So this is just the timeline. So today is January 21st, and you guys have approved the schedule and approved the rule text. And then it works through the phase of making a rule permanent. So you file with Secretary of State, you get the 28-day comment period. Sometimes there's a hearing. We're not doing a hearing this time, but you could choose to if you wanted to change that today.
Oh, there is a hearing on the schedule.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. February 25th is a hearing. I'm sorry. We're not usually doing hearings for this particular rule change, but we are for DEMS. But you could change that date as long as it's after the 15th. March 11th is your next board meeting, and you'd approve them, adopt them permanent, and then I'd file them by the 15th. And that would give us time to communicate out to licensees that these hours will start being needed after 2021. 2022.
So, hold on, this is Sylvia. They go into effect for anybody renewing after July 1 of 2021.
Yes. I tried saying that, didn't come out nearly as nice.
So why do we have a hearing scheduled then?
Just an opportunity for people to talk and come give up their opinion about the rule changes. It would all be by phone.
Okay.
And then I would draft a report if somebody made comments, and I would give them to you on March 11th, prior to March 11th.
And Lynette, if it helps to look at this, the schedule is in the board meeting materials that we were sent on January 15th.
Thanks, I just had it in my head incorrectly. I didn't know what we were talking about, but I got it. Thank you.
I think you can call roll.
So did we get somebody in that already?
Wendy made a
Okay.
motion.
Call roll then. Wendy Smith,
Aye?
Kelsey Fisher,
Aye.
Meredith Mance,
Aye.
Lynette Pettibone,
Aye.
Christine Morales,
Aye.
and Meredith Klein. Aye.
Okay, the next item on your agenda is to look at, so basically the Legend Drugs and Devices program has been ongoing since 2001, I believe. And we haven't made a lot of significant changes to the program itself. There's been lots of discussion about it. We added GBS in 2015, and me and Colleen Forbes worked out the kinks then. But really the curriculum piece is a document that we've created way back when to basically guide the teachers who provide this teaching, give them something to hold on to and something to guide the students through. With that said, I recently have updated that. I gave you two versions. One is the current version that says draft, and then the second version is the one that is currently on the web now, today, which is actually incorrect. So this has the 48 hours, and the hours are actually only 40. So what I've done is basically, what needs to happen is this needs to be completely reviewed. The program itself, which we talked about in 2019, we did rulemaking, to convene another committee. Holly Scholas came, wanted to do more like apprenticeship, like you do the work, you do your suturing, and then the supervisor signs off, takes a test. So something in that manner. We haven't had time to do that, or haven't got that scheduled in our docket, but we would like to be able to hand this curriculum out. So what I really did is just condensed everything down to the objectives and then the standards for the instructor. We have had one person interested in teaching the course, Jessica Dolan. She hasn't submitted her application yet, but she is hoping to do so. So I would like to give her something tangible to, glean onto so she can start doing her program with the knowledge that we do need to start a committee to meet about this and get this ball rolling, so. Any questions? And basically what I took out medications, dosages, and references, because when I did it with Colleen, she said those things become outdated. References become outdated, medications change, dosages change, so it's better to have nothing there and let the practitioner decide what's happening in the field at the time of the education. But the objectives stay the same. Does that make sense?
So this is Kelsey, and just to be clear, we still have a plan to have a committee totally revise this, but this is just a stopgap so that we have something that's a little bit more accurate until we get a recommendation from a committee.
Yes.
Okay.
And what's the timeline for gathering that committee and moving forward?
So we would have to talk to Cerinthia and find out what her timeline is, but we could get you something out in an email, kind of a schedule of what that might look like.
Okay.
Any questions about that? Things that I missed? Things that should be in there that aren't? Like I said, I went over this pretty in-depth when we did GBS with Colleen Forbes. It just has taken a long time to catch up. And with the rule changes in 2019, we finally got it all kind of caught up and cleaned up. So, but yes, definitely need a committee to meet this and get away from this curriculum piece where you have to teach this when it's more of, can you do the skill? And you guys have already kind of started that path by doing only the 5 hours for renewal piece. So we're working that way. We just have to finish it up. So.
This is Kelsey, and when I read through this draft, the only thing that really stuck out to me was demonstration of repair of third-degree tears in the suturing section, and that's not actually in our scope, so it seems inappropriate to require our licensees to demonstrate that capacity if they're not supposed to use it.
Okay. I wonder if it's, yeah, I can remove that.
I think it's like
I think it might be a historical carryover because at some point it was in our scope.
Yeah, you're right, it was.
People had training in it. But it is no longer.
I can remove that. Good catch. It was silent, but it wasn't prohibited at that a long time ago, like 2010.
And you said that you took out references, medications, and what from the previous?
That was it. Just so if you look at the second, it looks like this, and it lists all these dosages, and then it will also have references that you can study. I removed all of those, and so it's just objectives and just who can instruct.
Okay.
And that just gives more flexibility. Any other questions? Then I will make that third degree laceration change and get with Cerinthia on the timeline for a committee, and then you guys can vote if you'd like.
Does somebody want to make a motion for that?
This is Kelsey, and I move that we adopt these curriculum guidelines with the changes that we discussed as a temporary measure until we can convene a committee to do a more thorough revision.
This is Christina, second.
So let's call roll. Wendy Smith. Wendy, are you there?
Yeah.
Now I can, yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Thanks. Beth, I was on here. Kelsey Fisher,
Aye.
Meredith Mance,
Aye.
Lynette Pettibone,
Aye.
excuse me, Christine Morales,
Aye.
and Meredith Klein. Aye.
Thank you. Good seeing you guys. Thank you.
So we ready for public and interested parties feedback? I think that's where we're at. Meredith?
Sure, let's do it. At this time, the Board of Directors in Midwifery will hear public interested parties' feedback. Members of the public, please wait until you've been recognized. Once recognized, please state your name and affiliation to the board for the record. Do we have anybody?
Is there anybody on the public phone? I didn't hear anybody chime in earlier. Doesn't sound like there's anybody there.
Okay. Well then, let's move on. I have too many screens open to find out our next item. So, we'll go into executive session then? Sorry, I'm getting there. The Board of Directors for Midwifery will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192.6602F and ORS 676.595 for the purpose of considering information or records that are exempt by law from public disclosure at 8:29 a.m. on January 21st, 2021. Representatives of the news media shall be allowed to attend the executive session by conference call and will be provided further call-in instructions shortly. The public phone line will be muted for the duration of the executive session. Are there any representatives of the news media on the public phone? No. Recognizing there is no news media in attendance, the public phone line will be muted for the duration of the executive session. We will return to open session before taking any final action or making any final decisions. We are now in executive session. Okay. The Board of Directors for Midwifery will now exit executive session and reconvene open session at 1:09 p.m. No final decisions were made and no votes were taken in executive session. The public phone line has been unmuted and representatives of the media may once again report all board discussions and actions.
This is Bob. We're gonna have to dial into the public line again. It shut off after two and a half hours, I think.
This is Sylvia. It'll automatically shut off when there's nobody on it but us for after a certain amount of time, so.
But Sylvia, just to confirm, people were able to call into it and remain waiting?
For a period of
It would
time.
not have hung up on them if there was anybody in the phone. It will automatically, so it automatically stays on and connected forever. It won't have one other person on it besides us. It will, if there's nobody else on the phone besides us, it will automatically kick us off after 2 hours.
To join the conference as the host, press star. Otherwise, please enter your host password.
Do they
followed by
want me
the
to call
pound
into
sign.
it?
No. Are we on?
Or no, you
Your host password was not recognized. Please re-enter your host password followed by the pound sign. There are 1 participants
That's
on the
us.
call, including you. You are joining your conference as the host. For a menu of available commands, press star pound.
That's just us, right?
Yes.
Okay, public line is open again.
And if I could just ask, has anyone contacted April, letting April know that they were attending the meeting or wanted to speak today?
Not that we're aware of.
Thank
No.
you.
Shoot her an email and ask.
Okay.
So we're going to email her and make sure, we will double check.
Yeah, she's been texting me. She hasn't said anything.
Okay. The latest thing is no. Latest response is no.
Thanks.
Okay. Kelsey?
Does Meredith have a script?
I know Meredith. Did Meredith finish her script?
I set the script to get back into the regular session.
Oh, okay, sorry.
To do
I see.
another reconvening open session. I didn't know I need to do anything else besides that.
This is Kelsey Fisher, and I move that in cases 18-8823 and 18-8824, that we issue notices of intent to include education required to relicensing, which includes board-approved classes in charting, risk assessment, fetal surveillance, and GBS, screening, management, and antibiotic prophylaxis. Courses already completed since this violation can be submitted to the board for approval. Upon licensing, we require that the licensee's first 3 births are to be supervised by a board-approved supervisor who is outside the licensee's practice. Supervision is to include a 35-week chart review and risk assessment, supervisor's attendance, intrapartum, and an additional review at the conclusion of care. The board assesses a civil penalty of $5,000. $2,000 of the civil penalty may be stayed upon completion of board recommended classes described above at any time since the violation to within a year of the issuance of the final orders. We will assess the costs of disciplinary proceedings up to $5,000. We offer informal settlement conference, and we delegate to the chair the ability to approve and sign the final written terms. Does anyone second?
This is Christine, I second.
Okay. Am I unmuted? Yes. So let's take a roll and vote. Wendy Smith. I recuse myself. Beth Iva.
Aye.
Kelsey Fisher.
Aye.
Meredith Mann.
Aye.
Lynette Pettibone.
Aye.
Christine Morales.
Aye.
And Mary Klein. Aye.
This is Kelsey again, and I move that in case 20-10015, we open an investigation and separate it into 2 different cases.
This is Christine, I second.
So we'll take a vote on that also. Oops. Trying to find the roll again. Wendy Smith.
Aye.
Beth Iva.
Aye.
Kelsey Fisher.
Aye.
Meredith Mann.
Aye.
Lynette Pettibone.
Aye.
Christine Morales.
Aye.
And Meredith Klein. Aye.
Okay, this is Sylvie. Meredith, we are on the agenda on item number 8. You should have a different script for this. This is just a non-public session, so there will be no recordings of it.
Let me see. Meeting script. sure that I do. Where it is.
This is Sylvie. It should hopefully be after your previous script that you read about coming back in from our previous executive session. That should just be in alignment, hopefully.
Yeah. See this, include call to order, public participation. I'm gonna go through the email. I'm so sorry, I thought I had everything pulled up properly.
Maria's going to send it to you real quick.
That would be great. Agenda. Okay. All right, sorry about that. A deliberation on a contested case. The Board of Direct Entry Midwifery is now leaving the public meeting to deliberate on a contested case under ORS 192.6901 at 1:18 p.m. on Monday, January 21st, 2021. The deliberation will not be recorded and no final decisions will be made.
Next Thursday. Right? This is Bob. Sorry to nitpick. I thought I heard you say Monday, not Thursday.
Yeah, I did because the thing says Monday, November 30th, so then I corrected it, but I didn't correct it soon enough. Should I read that again?
So we're talking about Thursday, January 21.
Yeah, the sheet just says Monday, November 30th, so I just had to change it.
I was just
Thursday, January 21st, 2021.
Okay, think that's sufficient? Getting nods, okay.
Okay.
Granicus is off?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. So all of the recordings are off.
Yes, ma'am.
And just for those who are new,
The Board of Direct Entry Midwifery will reconvene public session at 1:33 p.m. No final decisions were made and no votes were taken.
Are we back on our
Yes, we are.
recording?
We're ready to go.
This is Kelsey Fisher, and I move that in case number 17-8737, that we schedule an informal settlement conference pursuant to the board's direction.
My cat just knocked over our rice cooker. Sorry. And I have to be unmuted, getting ready to say my I. Hang on, sorry. This is why I keep my camera off. Okay.
So Kelsey made a motion. I think we still need a second.
Yeah. This is Wendy and I second. Sorry.
Okay, let's vote on that. Beth Iba,
Beth is on mute.
am I in?
Aye. You can't read my lips?
I can't read anything. I'm on the phone. Kelsey Fisher.
Aye.
Meredith Mann.
Aye.
Lynette Pettibone.
Aye.
Christine Morales.
Aye.
Wendy Smith.
Aye.
Meredith Klein. Aye.
is Sylvia again. We're in item number 11, which is other board business. I don't know if there's anything that anybody wants to bring up for other board business for the next board meeting or for us to know about or work on.
Oh, I have a question. I have one question about online renewal.
Okay.
We switched to that, and I'm very thrilled about it. My curiosity is about why people who have additional continuing education requirements, because they have fewer than 5 births or whatever it is, still have to do it by paper.
Sylvia, I do believe, and I don't know, you're asking me off the top of my head, but it's because they have to submit documentation. Because they would
I don't think that's not on the paper form.
The renewal about the whole having less than, are you talking about having less than so many births?
Yeah. You still just have to attest that you've done the correct amount of continuing education. You don't actually have to submit anything different.
This is Sammy, here's why. When we put all of it into place, when I asked because it goes down a question line, right? Here's all the questions that we're going to ask you to renew online. I asked the question opposite. So rather than saying, how did it go? It's if you haven't done 5, it says if you have done 5, then sign. Instead of if you haven't done 5, sign. So the wording needs to be flipped. That's why you have to renew it by paper if you didn't do 5. Does that make sense? It's called working in a bubble. No one noticing. So it's on the radar. Me and Nate will be working on that. Does that make sense? So I asked the question opposite, so yeah.
Okay.
I can explain better later.
Oh, I think I get it.
Okay.
But it's on the radar, and there's hopefully a fix for it?
It is, yes.
Okay, great. That's all I have then.
Does anybody else have anything? All right, so Meredith, you should have a closing script.
I do. Are we ready for it?
Oh, yeah.
That's your choice.
Yes, the Board of Direct Entry Midwifery meeting is adjourned at 1:38 p.m.